I think the journey is always a journey. My purpose has been that I want to be not just a professional, but a very well-rounded professional.
Being the first women independent member of the PCB board, what internal and external challenges did you face?
The people are too critical of PCB. If you cannot see yourself as a leader, nobody else is going to take you up on that role either. So some of us do break those barriers.
You have extensive experience in the banking and finance sector, which is more of the male-dominated area.
Women are never given the roles based on their potential. They are given the role with really hard facts which you have to hammer like 200 times.
The most successful people who I have seen personally are the ones who are the biggest risk takers.
Every step that anyone is taking is actually creating a pathway. I do think challenges are sent by God to give you a better direction.
If you're going to stop yourself that, oh, I think this is not going to work, it will never work.
Keep doing the right things that you are. Lead from the front and the back.
Hi everyone, Assalamu alaikum. This is Marium Jamal and welcome to another episode of Women Leader Series by Women Entrepreneurs of Asia. Today, I'm honored to host a truly inspiring leader, a trailblazer in banking, governance, innovation, and mentorship, who has broken barriers in traditionally male-dominated spaces and continues to empower women across the region. Please welcome Alia Zafar. Assalamu alaikum, Alia.
Assalamu alaikum.
वालेकुम सलाम क्या हाल है आपके
Really good, actually. Thank you very much for asking as well.
Thank you so much for coming over, taking out time for us. It's honestly a pleasure to have you over here.
Thank you. I think it's really my pleasure to be here and be with you. So thanks a lot for that.
Thank you, Alia. Okay, Alia, so let's start with your journey, right? You have been working in the HR governance and digital transformation and the diversity, inclusion, and equality. So, how did all this and also the early experiences shaped your career and the philosophy on the leadership and purpose?
Oh, that's a really loaded question. So I think the journey is always a journey. So the first thing, of course, is that you start and you do have a focus and you want to get somewhere. My purpose has been that I want to be not just a professional, but a very well-rounded professional. So I started with civil services, and then I moved into the corporate. I went into the development sector, and at each step, I think I learned a lot. And as the process goes on and as the journey moves on, while we are learning, we also get a little bit of capacity to teach to others, to lead in a number of ways. And I think the journey essentially has been trying to help others around me most of the time. And while doing that, I have been helped more in terms of gaining the capacity and the skills, as well as the competence to actually look at multiple types of work, multiple streams and industries, and how I can contribute as well. So it's just and it's a journey after all. So I'm still continuing.
Great. So, you have worked across continents,
Yeah.
from Pakistan to the Commonwealth Secretariat. So, how did you, what was the experience and how did you stay grounded and effective in such diverse environment?
Being grounded, I think the baseline is that your family grounds you a lot. Number one, your friends ground you all the time. You ground yourself because everything really is about taking part in the positive way. Everything is about contributing rather than achieving anything. So step by step, wherever you go, it's just another step. It's another country. It's another position of responsibility, and you try to do your best within that sphere. But as you are growing, you try to help others rather than focus on oh, I have achieved this, I've become big. Not at all. I have not achieved anything. I think I'm still trying to get somewhere. Um, it's all about trying to make every day better in terms of how you're contributing, essentially. That's how I look at it. So I don't see myself as, you know, anything other than that.
That's lovely. That's actually nice to know. This actually brings that humbleness to you, and this is actually
No,
lovely.
it's a fact. Humble kya hona hai? It's just
Okay. All right. So you've also been leading on in non-traditional spaces, like being the first women independent member of the PCB board. So, what internal and external challenges did you face, and also how did you navigate them?
Pakistan Cricket Board is a very, very interesting space to work in, especially at the board level, because you're looking at multiple strategic components and how the governance works within the organization. And it has had its ups and downs, of course. It's progressing in its own wonderful way. Sometimes I think the people are too critical of PCB, which they have, of course, a right to. But at the end of the day, everybody is trying their best to do what they can. I don't see that I had a lot of challenges in terms of being recognized or being accepted, because this really came from the constitution at that time of PCB, where there was a very clear indication of having diversity at that level, because it always helps to have diversity. How I navigated it, just like I navigate any other responsibility, just be very truthful about what I'm looking at and how professionally it needs to be looked at, how it needs to be reviewed, and I didn't really have any problems. So happy to say that.
That's lovely. So, you've also worked in the, like, I know that you have extensive experience in the banking and finance sector, which is more of the male dominated area. We say it here. So, what drew you to this field? And are there any key lessons that you learned from the risk management, the strategic planning, the decision making, and and that still guides you till today?
A lot of things. I think banking is for one thing, of course, it's one of the most regulated industries.
Yes.
It's also very structured in industry, because it has to be, because it's dealing with not their own money but somebody else's money,
Yeah.
and you have to be very, very careful with that.
That's true.
I think it teaches you more resilience. It does teach you a lot of discipline. I do also think that there is a lot of capacity within the banking industry to try new things, to experiment, to lead on a lot of areas which some other industries may be a little bit careful with, or a little bit reticent in terms of whether we want to do this or not. So I do see a lot of innovation, and that innovation has actually resulted in the industry as a whole doing really well. So you look at the overall results of the industry and you compare them with others, and you can see that there's a lot happening here in terms of profits, but just not profits. I think in terms of how it is creating a major difference in the lives of people everywhere. So that includes all the rural areas. It includes livelihood and economic resilience of people. So I do see that this industry has such a huge and very positive influence in every possible way. So yes, there's so much learning. I can go on and on, but this is enough for now.
Right. So, with your experience and exposure to both the public governance and the private
Mhm.
banking, um, how does the leadership differs in both of these environment? And what skills transfer the best across these
Mm.
sectors?
Very interesting question, actually, because both are very different.
Yes.
One is very structured, like when I was in civil service, the structures are laid out, the processes are laid out, and due to transparency that you require, because it's public money at the end of the
Right.
day, you need to have those processes the way they are. So that makes it a little slow. And it will also make it a little bit more difficult to innovate. And on the other hand, on the corporate side, you have all that flexibility to innovate, but sometimes you may not have the depth of exposure and experience that you have in the public sector.
Right.
So both have their pros and cons. Both can work very well. Sometimes I think organizations which are a mix of both, like some of the banks, for example, work really well because you have the capacity to transform and change very quickly. At the same time, you also have that understanding of compliance and risk management, understanding of why the processes need to be the way they are. So there is less dissonance, there is less of a challenge in managing all these areas. So both of the components work well. Both require tweaking and changes. But what is the transferability of a person's skills? I think having an analytical mind and an innovative mind and being able to pick and analyze and utilize your brain on both sides, and trying to create a pace, for example, in the public sector, and trying to create the depth in the private sector helps. So that's the interchangeable skill, I think.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Great answer, I'd say. Okay, so Alia, let's talk about the digital transformation that we're seeing currently. What do you think about this digital transformation and the fintech innovation reshaping opportunities for the women in banking and finance?
I think there's a lot being done. There's a lot still to be done, of course. Digital transformations or transformative technologies, I would say, not just digital transformation as something in terms of the process change that you see in organizations, but more of the utilization of digital platforms for example, women in entrepreneurship, or women in fintech, or women out there in the rural areas. How we are utilizing, for example, the access to finance, which still is a problem.
Okay.
So technology is a great equalizer, and yet, if we do not utilize it in the right way, it can also create the worst type of challenges in terms of inequalities. So the access is the first part. The second part is the literacy around finance. And if that is not there, there is a problem again. In terms of urban areas and fintechs, and how these fintechs are connecting with women, there is some, you see, there's some work being done, but there's a lot more which can be done. So I think the focus needs to be a little bit more on that side.
Right. So, how do the digital transformation and this new technology like AI can actually empower the women entrepreneurs? And also, there are so many that who I know that they are still worried and not really adopting the new technology. So, what would you advise them?
Try it first thing. Play with it. So when we talk about new technology, there are so many.
Right.
So one of them, of course, is the use of agentic technologies. But any of the, for example, chatbots that we see, and the use cases can be very different. So it really depends on where you're working. For example, if you're working in the corporate sector, you already see a number of use cases. And these are in every area. So whether you're working in operations or finance or HR or marketing, everywhere we have started using some kind of transformative technologies, including AI. How this can help women entrepreneurs? It can help in a lot of ways. A lot of the new startups around tech are centered around AI, and some of these founders are women as well. So that's just one part of it. But how it can become an equalizer requires a lot more work, because that means that we need to see how the D&I component of AI is working. And one of the major issues, of course, is on data and how the data is biased and still needs to be trained a lot. It will impact women differently for sure. And if the biases are continuing in the data, and it's not cleansed, the training is not done of data in the right way, then you are actually continuing, rather escalating some of the biases which are there for women or other underrepresented groups. So it's very, data becomes really important then as to how do you fix it, clean it, and make sure that it is devoid of, which is very difficult, of course, devoid of biases. So it's a very complex space actually, in terms, and it has multiple dimensions. So it's not just one dimensional that you can say that, okay, we adapt and suddenly everything will start looking good. No, it doesn't work like that.
I'm sure. One thing that I missed, in your view, what are the barriers, systematic barriers you believe still limit the women's progression in the leadership roles?
There are quite a few.
Okay.
The first barrier is coming from the household that you come from, because
Right.
all households are embedded, and that really is a cultural issue
Yes, yes.
and an issue coming from the society, where women are brought up differently, and they are brought up with a lot of these ideas that you can do this and you can't do this. And that really limits women also in terms of how they look at their own capacity. So the self image is really, I wouldn't say it's destroyed, but it's damaged in a lot of women. And if you cannot see yourself as a leader, nobody else is going to take you up on that role either. So some of us do break those barriers. Some of us cannot. And that's why I think women need to support each other a lot more than they do currently, so that you make sure that you are creating that space. And that's why I think women networks are really, really important. The second issue, of course, is that you have a lot of, um, traditionally, more men are working out of the house. Women are homemakers and they're working there for sure, and they're contributing tremendously. Uh, and within the economy, when you look at the corporate, for example, or the public sector, you still do not have the same percentage of women working there. And because of that, there is also a very clear disadvantage and bias. And that bias comes out a lot in terms of the capacity of women. So a lot of them would be given operational roles, but they will not be considered that they have the capacity or the potential to do more than that. Whereas a similar person, similar role, but a man,
Yeah.
would be seen as having the potential, and based on that potential, they might be given a position.
Position, right.
Women are never given the roles based on their potential. They are given the role with really hard facts, which you have to hammer like 200 times, prove yourself 200 times, and then you get it. But at the end of the day, we are still doing it. So there's still hope. Some organizations, some wonderful supportive men are out there also, who within these organizations as well, who are very fair, who are not biased, and who also help based on the work, not on the gender.
That's right. So you've supported national hackathons that actually led the startups gain a lot of international exposure. So, what role do you think these innovative platforms are playing in empowering the women entrepreneurs?
I think every step that anyone is taking is actually creating a pathway.
Right.
And we can't create, and the government alone cannot do all of this on their own. So it's really important that all of the industries, wherever they are, whatever they do, are able to utilize some part of their CSR budget and plow it back into the communities where they are serving, where they are providing their services. Because what happens is that one organization does it, then another one will look at it and see, okay, there is some value in this. there is value for the whole economy, there is value for the community, there is value for the society, there is value for you as a brand because you are contributing in an effective way. But there is a huge value at the really baseline level where you're one step at a time. You're completely transforming the way we work, the way women can go out and also have that opportunity, which some of the men also don't have. By the way, it's not just about women. It's essentially, as a society, we don't have that. So hackathons really provide us that space.
So, Alia, looking back, what part of your journey feels the most transformative, personally or professionally?
Mm, that's a tough question.
Yeah.
Um, I think I won't specify the challenges in my life or in my personal or professional life, but I think transformation comes from pain. And if you're too comfortable, you are too comfortable, then you will not move or change. So a few of the challenges that I think came across made me grow. So I do think challenges are sent by God to give you a better direction.
More strength.
Always.
Always.
Always. So that, I wouldn't say one challenge, but each one as it comes to you transforms you because you are then becoming more resilient. You're also growing. So it's like I always think of it like a spring. When you put the pressure on a spring, what happens when you release the pressure? It goes up.
Right.
So every time you push me down, I'll go up. So that's how I think of the whole transformation part for myself.
Great. Also, you've published the book, The Magnificent Heritage of Punjab, right? So, what drives the passion for storytelling and arts alongside this?
It's art and history. There's no storytelling in it. It's all factual. So I am I've been like studying art and history forever, and I'm very passionate about both, and I'm very passionate about our country and the heritage that we have. So the book, The Magnificent Heritage of Punjab, is about a restoration project which my previous employer, the Bank of Punjab, took up, and I was I was lucky enough to be part of that project. But while that was going on, I really wanted to write about it because I think for me that became more of my passion, and um, the whole process around restoration. I captured that. These are 19th century paintings which were restored. You can see them in the Sikh gallery in the Lahore Fort.
Wonderful.
And they are restored, and I hope they stay restored for a long time. I was digging into the history of each one and how it came about to be where they are. And I was also very much interested in Punjab at the time of Maharaja Ranjit Singh's reign and how um, a local hero was able to do so many things and change so many of the dynamics of this area um, in a wonderful way, actually. So for me, it's really going back to our roots, which are from Punjab.
Punjab.
Yeah.
Right. So, also, let's talk about the uh, imposter syndrome, self doubt. Many women face this self doubt and imposter syndrome, even when they are capable of, right? So, what do you think? It, how? What was that mindset shift? I would say, which is actually needed for the women to, uh, cultivate and then lead boldly without any uncertainty.
Believing in yourself, I think, requires courage, requires questioning yourself, and requires confronting yourself as well. And that is again a process. You can't just ask somebody, okay, do it, and they'll do it. No, it doesn't work like that. but one step at a time. You need to introspect. If we don't introspect, we don't know ourselves. If you don't know yourself, you don't know where you stand.
Right.
And
That's right.
it's essential that you dig inside and see, okay, what is making me unsure of this particular thing. So for example, if I want to get into a job, or if I'm in a job and I'm trying to get into another higher position, why would I think that I'm the imposter here? Whereas my logic tells me, and my work tells me, and the analysis that I've done of my work tells me that's not the case. And I have a brain, I can use it, of course, as well as anyone else, right? Sometimes better. And when you use your abilities and when you use your understanding of yourself, it it comes then naturally that yes, I have that capacity as a human being to achieve anything out there. For that, I may need to work hard, and that I can do. But it's just hard work,
That's right.
and that's fine. We can do that.
That's right. That's right.
It's just as simple as that, I think. At times, it's difficult, and yet when you get to it, when you go deeper, it becomes simpler.
Simpler, right?
Believe in what you have in you. You have so much power in you that it's nobody can stop you.
That's right. And many of the times I think that we have this thing that we don't even try. Like for example, even if I have an idea to start over a business, I might not try because I cannot take that risk. I'm not
Yeah,
able
you have to be a
taking
risk
that risk.
taker.
Yes. So this is also
I'm
one
a
thing
big
that
risk taker, by the
yeah,
way.
I just have this feeling that the most successful people who I have seen personally are the ones who are the biggest risk takers.
Don't think too much about these things. Just do it.
Yeah,
And
exactly. If you're gonna stop yourself that oh my god, this is not I think this is not gonna work, it will never work because you never initiated it.
because you're scared, no? You're scared.
Yes, you never
You don't
initiated
need
it.
to be scared. So the way I see it is, if you overthink, you need to be logical about things. Of course, it's not like you say, okay, I'm going to become like a rock star, and you don't have basic understanding of your own voice.
Right.
That may not work, but it may still work, by the way, nowadays. But but still,
But
it's
yeah, again,
better to plan well,
yeah.
work hard, and then do it, because if you keep thinking, you won't be able to do it.
That's right. And I think a little research also does help.
Research
Research helps.
No, it always helps. You have to do your homework, of course. First, of course, to do your homework. It's not like you can just start anything. You need your homework to be done.
Right.
But that homework, you see, logic, data,
Yeah.
analytics
Right.
help a lot.
Right. And pros and cons are everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Again, they're together and they're everywhere. So
And,
yeah.
and from failures, you will also learn. So failure in our society is a stigma,
Yeah.
whereas it shouldn't be a stigma. You're going through a process and you're learning, and once you learn, you will do better. Try and try again.
Of course, that's right. That's right. So, looking ahead, what's your vision for the women leadership in Asia over the next decade, of course? And also, what changes are needed to make that vision into reality?
Oh. The vision for women in Asia is keep doing the right things that you are, lead from the front and the back, and continue investing in yourself, continue on that journey, and do not feel disheartened by anything which tries to come in your way, but be extremely empathetic, hold hands with all those. You cannot be successful alone. You need to take people with you. So just do not be the self-centered person. Be empathetic and lead, but lead in a way that you are just taking everyone forward. And that I think is really, really important. You cannot think that the ladder or the top is just one person. A lot of times that's really not how it works.
Right. Okay, Sadia, we are going to have a quick fire round with you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one.
I hope so.
It will be. Okay, Sadia, tea or coffee?
Coffee,
Always?
always.
Great.
Actually, it's matcha nowadays, but
You like matcha, really?
I love matcha. I've loved matcha since 2002. Actually, about now.
Well, that's nice. That's nice. Very few people I heard
Oh,
saying I love matcha, but good to know. Okay, so early bird or a night owl?
both.
Both.
Yeah,
Good. Maybe it's the night owl on the weekends and early bird on the weekdays.
pretty much.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. All right. So, biggest inspiration in life.
Myself.
Nice. Favorite application or a tool that makes life easier?
AC in Pakistan in hot weather.
Yeah.
Phone,
Phone.
smartphone.
I'm sure. Okay. So, one habit that fuels your success.
Discipline, commitment.
Very nice. Very nice. Work hard or work smart? What do you think?
Both. You have to work hard, but you also have to work smart.
Smart. That's right. Okay. So, one skill every entrepreneur should learn.
Pitching,
Mm-hmm. And that's the most important, I believe. If you pitched it right, you won again. Okay, so if you could master one skill instantly, what would it be?
instantly, if I want to.
Yeah.
Like I become that chip in my brain and I get it.
Which one would it
Which skill would I want? Languages, all languages around the world.
be? Do you know any languages?
Yes, I do.
Like other than English?
Yes, I do.
English, French?
Urdu, Punjabi, French,
Okay.
a little bit of South Korean,
Uh-huh.
Korean.
Uh-huh.
What else? Pashto, a little bit of Pashto. Yeah.
Great, great. Okay, so a leadership quality you admire in others.
Empathy and integrity.
Mhm. Okay, your go-to mantra during the tough times.
It's okay.
Mm.
It's okay.
All is well. Voila.
It's okay.
All right. Favorite mentor advice ever received?
Time takes care of a lot of things, so you don't need to worry about everything.
Great. Okay, so Alia, to end this, I would like you to share one book, one habit, and one belief that every entrepreneur should build.
One book,
Huh.
Economics for Buddhists. I find it very interesting. It teaches you some very interesting dynamics around economies. One habit, just be very prepared. Be very prepared in all the areas that are with you, and do not think that you hold the key to every skill in the world, because you don't. So get help.
And one belief.
And one belief, believe in yourself, but also believe that you can falter. And sometimes you may need to change course. And that's perfectly fine. It doesn't make you a failure, it just makes you wiser.
Great. So, thank you so much, Alia, for sharing your journey, your wisdom with us today. It was incredible and great to hear. And to all the women entrepreneurs watching us, if you have an idea, please work on it. Take your bold step, create impact in your own sphere. You can, of course, do it. Thank you so much for watching us. This is Marium Jamal signing off from Women Entrepreneurs of Asia. Take care. Allah Hafiz.